What's up, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com, part of the Blue Wire Podcast Network. My name is Jeff Spiegel, joined today by Matthew Moreno. Matt, the Dodger Stadium is going to get some renovations here, thanks to Aaron Judge. Stan Kasten speaking to The Athletic, talking about some changes they're going to have to make after Aaron Judge was injured on a play in the series when the Yankees were here. That actually an injury that ended up putting him on the injured list. So, what did Kasten say, and what does this mean for the Dodgers and Dodger Stadium?
Yeah, so in an interview with Ken Rosenthal, The Athletic, Kasten said, quote, "He didn't go through the door, which is what I thought when I was watching the game. Then I got out there and realized the door doesn't open in that direction. He actually broke off where some of the panels were joined, the barrier between the two connecting panels, which is unbelievable. But we're going to strengthen that and add a strip of padding to the bottom as well," end quote.
To me, I had the first, like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, he just slammed open the door. So we got to get some better locks. And then I read the quote and I was like, oh my gosh, he literally opened the door in a direction that it is not designed to open. I did not realize that, first of all. And second of all, the crazier part, I couldn't believe there's like a 2-inch stretch of just concrete that is exposed that he smashed his toe into, ended up doing some damage to it. It's kind of crazy, Matt, that something like this hasn't happened sooner, specifically with that piece of concrete. Because you can imagine a guy diving and sliding into that part and like being worse than a toe hitting it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, when the play, I was there when Judge made that catch. And so as it happened in real time, I'm thinking, oh, and like, one, that was a crazy catch once you
Yeah.
realize he hung on to it. And two, then it's ironic, like you said, he broke the door the wrong way, but that's not what caused any sort of injury for it. Like
Yeah.
he shook that off basically, and he finished playing and then was out of the lineup the next day and has been since then, like you said, because of his toe injury that hit into the cement. And I think, it's one of those things that it's such a rare possibility and it clearly hasn't really happened yet. Fortunately, and I mean, I guess it's easy for us to say because even though Judge didn't necessarily break his toe, he probably is looking at, a 2 or 3 week thing minimum.
Yeah.
So the Yankees probably aren't happy. I know Aaron Boone and Judge, when we spoke with them after the game, they weren't happy with just the entire situation, and especially with Muncy getting an extra base because he went out of play. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, like you said, that exposed cement, which I can now see vividly and haven't really thought anything of in the past, is like, oh man, like they actually have been playing this entire time with it like that.
Yeah, and look, Judge is 6'7", 280 pounds. That's at least I believe what MLB.com has him listed at. And so, excuse me, Baseball Reference, which I'm guessing they pulled from MLB. But I mean, you can understand why maybe nobody has crashed into this fence and busted through it before, because there aren't, defensive lineman-sized human beings running full speed and busting straight through the door. I'm glad that the Dodgers are getting it fixed. And it is kind of a crazy story, Matt, when you think about the Judge is now on the injured list. I mean, the best player in Major League Baseball hurt himself on this play because of an exposed piece of concrete at the bottom. And actually, at first I was like, okay, he's going to miss a couple days, but he's like truly on the 10-day IL. As you said, we don't know how long he's going to be on there. It doesn't sound like anything is broken. It's a contusion, I believe, is the last thing. And so it's just an interesting, I mean, you mentioned it, you were there. It was just a crazy play, but for Judge to be involved, for Dodger Stadium, this iconic place to be involved, it's just weird to think about how the stars aligned and the biggest name player in one of the most famous places ended up actually hurting himself.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's on one hand fortunate, he, as much as he is going to miss time, like it probably could have been honestly a lot worse. I mean, his upper body, his shoulder, and all that could have been involved as well. And then you're looking at maybe multiple injuries. And this isn't the first time something like this has happened, in other stadiums. Like I think Jazz Chisholm earlier this year might have hurt his toe similarly running into a concrete like block. I forget if it was a home game that the Marlins were played or if they were on the road. So it seems like for whatever reason this happens at stadiums. Like I don't understand. What I would be interested to hear, and if I happen to see Stan at a game coming up, I will ask him, like, is that just a common practice to leave like that cement exposed like that, because it is under the bullpen gate. It is like you're not necessarily like you can't run into it per se, I guess, unless you're Judge and you're gonna end up going through the bullpen gate. It's such a fluke thing, and it's an unfortunate thing. on one hand. On the other side, hopefully it is a relatively minor injury. Hopefully Judge is able to, make a quick return, and then, the Dodgers get this fixed up before they're back home, and then we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds me of Rodney McRae, famously 1991 in Portland, running through the wall. So not quite as dramatic as that, but this was a lesser version, but with Aaron Judge, literally the face of Major League Baseball, doing it. So again, Dodgers going to put up some extra strengthening so that the door doesn't open the wrong way. They're going to put some padding over that concrete to protect players, but unfortunate for Judge that he will miss some time in the meanwhile. My name is Jeff. That's Matt. Again, you can check out news like this and tons more over at DodgerBlue.com. Of course, subscribe, ring the notification bell here as well. We greatly appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, go Dodgers.